Hello people, I'm Bharat Acharya. Welcome to our new video. So in today's video we're going to learn addition. Okay, you know how important addition is, right? I've told you in the introduction video, addition, the adder circuit itself is the one that does subtraction by just adding the 2's complement. The same adder subtractor itself by a little bit of manipulation can do multiplication division using Booth's algorithm, etc. So all arithmetic finally boils down to the adder circuit. So that's what we are making. Okay, now suppose I want to add two numbers. Okay, look here. Suppose the numbers are 3 and 2. You add them, the answer is 5. That is obvious. 3 is 0, 0, 1, 1. 2 is 0, 0, 1, 0. Let's add them. 1. 1 plus 1 is 0, carry 1. You know that, right? 1 plus 0 is 1 and this is 0. So this is 0, 1, 0, 1, which is 5. Everybody knows. Nothing wrong with this. Now, this was how many bit addition? Come on, look there and answer. This was a 4-bit addition, correct? So for this I need to design a 4-bit adder, an adder that is capable of adding 4-bit numbers. Now I'll be happy to use that adder as long as I'm adding 4-bit numbers. What if I want to add 8-bit numbers? Fine, then I'll make an 8-bit adder. Tell me the logic of an 8-bit adder or a 16-bit adder or a 32-bit adder, will it be different or same? Same, the logic is the same, it's just that the size of the circuit becomes bigger and bigger. So what do you want to understand? If you want to understand an ALU, what do you want to understand? How to add 16-bit numbers or how to add 8-bit numbers? No. 4-bit numbers, 2-bit numbers, 1-bit number. Get this clear. The whole idea is how to add two 1-bit numbers. Once you add two 1-bit numbers, combine 4 of those circuits, you'll be getting a 4-bit adder. Combine 8 of those circuits, you'll get an 8-bit adder. The logic to add two 8-bit numbers is the same as to add two 1-bit numbers. Are you clear? When students see this in the textbooks, they start laughing, they joke amongst themselves. How stupid, 1-bit adder, who does 1-bit addition? It's that 1-bit adder that does everything. The reason why you learn a 1-bit adder is combining the multiples of those, you can add any size numbers. It's not like when some processor adds a 64-bit number, it's coming up with some brand new concept. It's using 64 1-bit adders in the most efficient way, of course, possible. Are you clear? So, we're going to learn how to add two 1-bit numbers. This is 1-bit addition, so is this 1-bit addition and this and this. Are you clear? So basically we're going to take a 1-bit adder and start from there. Let's start. Come on, look here. Suppose these are two 1-bit numbers, x and y. Let's say x and y. Okay? When you add two 1-bit numbers, you get a 1-bit sum, that is z, and a 1-bit carry, which is c out, which can be 0 or 1. In this case it is 0, in this case it is 1, as you can see. Okay, so once again, what are your inputs? X and y, the 2 bits that you want to add. What are your outputs? The sum z and the carry that goes to the next stage, c out. Are you clear? Now, come on. There is a formula for sum. There is a formula for carry. What do you want to do? You want to go home and by heart it? Tomorrow is your exam, day after tomorrow, maybe a month later, maybe 6 months later, in case you're a brilliant student who likes to study 6 months in advance. Either way, what do you want to do? By heart this and take a chance, maybe you'll forget in the exam. You think I by heart all this? I teach 6 subjects. It's impossible for a human being to by heart that much. The idea is, if you have understood something, it stays right here. If you've understood it. So understand how to derive these formulae. It's very simple. It's just that you got to put your mind in it and you'll get it. I want some z. Now what can z be? Z can only be a 0 or a 1. You understand that, right? So, and x and y also can only be a 0 or a 1 because they're all 1-bit numbers. Now when will I get a sum? Tell me. If x and y both of them are 0, will I get a sum? No, because 0 plus 0 will give you a 0. So z will be 0. It won't be 1. If both of them are 1, x and y, if both of them are 1, will I get a sum? No, because 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 means 0 carry 1. That means sum will again be 0. So when will sum be 1? When x is 1, provided y is 0, or when y is 1, provided when x is 0. Did you understand this? Both 1 will not work, both 0 will not work. One of them should be 1 and the other should be 0, which means XOR gate. You know your gates, right? That is XOR gate. If you don't remember XOR gate, no problem. We will do it by the simplest gates possible. When will sum be 1? When x is 1, and y is 0, and is represented by a dot. In the circuit it will be an AND gate, in the expression it's represented by a dot. So x is 1 and y is 0, or is represented by a plus in the expression, or x is 0 and y is 1. X is 1, Y is 0, you will get a sum. X is 0, Y is 1, you will get a sum. If both of them are 1, you cannot get a sum. If both of them are 0, you cannot get a sum. And this formula will take care of them. Because if both of them are 0, this is AND gate. AND gate, one input is 0, the answer is 0. One input is 0, answer is 0. So you'll get a 0. If both of them are 1, again, if both of them are 1, the Y bar will make it 0, the X bar will make it 0. Again, AND gate will fail in both cases. So that means I will get a sum when only one of them is 1, provided the other one is 0. Please tell me, is this formula clear? Let's make the circuit for it. What is the circuit? This is a what gate? AND gate. This is a AND gate. And both are combined using OR gate. So this is an AND gate, this is an AND gate, both are combined using OR gate. This will give you your sum Z. When X is 1, but Y is 0, you can write Y bar, or you can take Y and put it on a NOT gate. You know it means the same, right? Okay, that's just the way you want to present it. Both of them are exactly the same thing. Or X is 0, but Y is 1. So either X is 1, Y is 0, or X is 0, Y is 1. Now apply all logics. Suppose we are just testing. I'm not going to do this testing for every circuit. Doing it for the first one so that you thoroughly understand it. Once this is strong, everything else will go fast. This is a long video, but everything will go fast once this is strong. Suppose X and Y, both of them are 0. As per your understanding, if both of them are 0, sum should be 0. Come on. X is 0, Y is 0, so Y bar is 1. Yeah, this is 1. But AND gate, if X is 0, answer of the AND gate will be 0. Similarly, if Y is 0, answer of this AND gate will be 0. 0 ORed with 0 will give you a 0. You won't get a sum, because you should not get a sum, because both of them are 0. Similarly, if both of them are 1, their corresponding bars will be 0. If bars are 0, that means AND gate, anything is 0, answer is 0. Again, both zeros will produce a 0. Now, if X is 0 but Y is 1, show me what's going to happen. X is 0, Y is 1. X is 0, this gate will produce a 0. X is 0, that means inverter will give you a 1. Y is 1. 1, 1 will give you a 1. OR gate, one input is 1, answer is 1. You will get a sum. Last case. X, are you getting a grip on this now? Are you getting a grip? X is 1, Y is 0. X is 1, Y is 0. Come on. X is 1, Y is 0. X is 1, so this is a 1. Y is 0. 0 means inverted. It becomes 1. 1 and 1 will produce a 1. OR gate, I don't need to look down. In OR gate, if one input is 1, the answer is 1. Please tell me, did you understand? That means every case that we thought of is now implemented over here. I will not keep doing this testing for every circuit, because now you understand, right? The expression you write over here with your logic will automatically give you the correct answer once you make the gates. Okay? Now, carry. When will you get a carry? Come on. I am adding two 1-bit numbers. When will there be a carry? If both of are you getting what is going on? Good. If both of them are 0, will you get a carry? No. Any one of them is 1, provided the other is 0? No, because 1 plus 0 is 1, no carry. 0 plus 1 is 1, no carry. Both of them are 1 is the only case that can produce a carry. Please tell me, did you understand this? Both of them should be 1. That means X should be 1 and Y should be 1. This is a circuit for the carry. Please tell me, did you understand this? X should be 1, Y should be 1, only then there will be a C out. Please tell me, is that clear? No other condition. So both 0 will not give you a carry. Any one of them is 0, no, will not give you a carry. Both of them are 1 is the only case that can produce a carry. This was your adder. Please tell me, did you understand the adder? Now, are we done with making an adder? No. There is a small problem. We've reached halfway. Coincidentally, that's why it's also called half adder. Anyway, so what's the problem? I'll tell you what the problem is. Yes, this is a beautiful 1-bit adder. This will without fail add two 1-bit numbers. Nothing wrong with this. But our life does not end with adding 1-bit numbers. We have to go far ahead. Our goal of making this was to use this in combination with several such components to add a big number, like a 4-bit addition. I want to combine 4 of these to give me a 4-bit adder. The problem is, if I put this component here, it works. If I put this component over here, it will not work. Why? Because in this stage, like over here, in this stage will make it more clear to you. Look at this stage, okay? This stage. What are you adding? You're not adding only these 2 bits. You're adding these 2 bits plus the carry of the previous input, which means though it is a 1-bit adder, it will not have 2 1-bit inputs. It will have 3 1-bit inputs. The 2 current numbers you want to add plus the carry of the previous stage. Student will say, sir, how come you will use that adder over here? Over here also you'll use it. You will just keep C in as 0. Initially C in is 0. Please tell me, did you understand this? Is the point clear? But you need an adder. If you want to combine a set of 1-bit adders to make a big adder, you cannot work with a half adder. This is called a half adder. Why? Because it does half the job. Some people also like that. They understand little bit and okay, I understood. Understand it completely. Don't leave it midway. This is a half adder. It can add two 1-bit numbers independently. That's it. But cannot be used in a circuit to add a series of numbers, because in a circuit, when you add two 1-bit numbers, you also have to consider the carry that comes inside. If you consider that, then it becomes a full adder. That's the one that we are making now. Half adder is done. I really doubt anybody will ever ask you draw a half adder or derive a half adder. But we needed to do that to understand this. We got a strong understanding of what's going on over here with the half adder. Now we just have to extend the concept further. A full adder will have 3 inputs. The 2 bits that you want to add, a carry input. So the inputs are X, Y and C in. The outputs are the sum and the carry output. Again, everything is a 1-bit quantity, so everything can only be a 0 or a 1. Come on, start. When will I get a sum? I want the answer from you. There are 3 inputs over here, okay? If all the 3 are 0, will I get a sum? No. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. Sum is going to be 0. If all the 3 are 1, will I get a sum? Yes. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, which means it is 1 carry 1. You understand that. So your sum is 1. So the first case of getting a sum is X should be 1 and Y should be 1 and C in should be 1. Please tell me, did you understand this? X, Y, C in. Are you clear? Is this the only case? No, there are more cases. Either this should happen or, how do you write or? How do you write or? You write or with a plus sign. Good. So what cases have we discussed? If all the 3 are 0, you won't get a sum. If all the 3 are 1, you will get a sum. So all of them with the same value, we have discussed it. When else can you get a sum? If 2 of them are 1 and the third one is 0, no, because 1 plus 1 will give you 2, 2 means 0, sum 0 carry 1, so sum will be 0. So 2 of them being 1 is not our criteria, that's not going to give you sum. If one of them is 1, provided the other 2 are 0, X, Y, C in. If any one of them is 1, provided the other 2 are 0, you will still get a sum. Please tell me, did you understand this? So X, Y, C in, or X should be 1 and at that time Y should be 0 and at that time C in should be 0. Are you understanding how my English is becoming notations and how those notations are becoming gates? In English, how do you say it? X should be 1 and Y should be 1 and C in should be 1. That is one case. Or X should be 1 and Y should be 0 and C in should be 0. Or now you want to continue, come on, with the same conviction like how I am saying it, you supposed to say it. Come on, give me the next one. X should be 0 and Y should be 1 and C in should be 0, or X should be 0 and Y should be 0 and C in should be 1. Please tell me, did you understand? How do you explain this to your friend? Suppose your friend is not watching this video but you care about that person. How do you explain this to that person? When will you get a sum? If all the 3 are 1, that will give you a sum. If any one of them is 1, that will give you a sum, but provided the other 2 are 0. If all of them are 0, will not give you a sum. If any 2 of them are 1 with the third one being 0, will not give you a sum. Please tell me, did you understand this? So what are your conditions? Either all the 3 are 1 or any one of them is 1 provided the other 2 are 0. That's your sum. Are you going to by heart this? No, you understood this, right? Good. Now, carry. You are adding 3 bits, X, Y and C in. When will you get a carry? If all the 3 are 0, will you get a carry? No. If any one of them is 1, only one of them is 1, will you get a carry? No. To produce a carry, 2 of them have to be 1, minimum 2 of them have to be 1, correct? If all 3 are 1, great, that will produce a carry. But even if 2 of them are 1, will produce a carry. Am I right or no? So if X and Y, both of them are 1, you will get a carry irrespective of Cn. Whether Cn is 1 or 0, it doesn't matter. If X and Y are 1, you will get a carry. Or if X and Cn are 1, you will get a carry. Or if Y and Cn are 1, you will get a carry irrespective of the third one. Please tell me, did you understand? In simple terms, if any 2 of them is 1, irrespective of the third candidate, you will get a carry, because if to produce a carry, all you need is 2 1s together. Please tell me, are you clear? Now, so write this for me. Come on, write this for me. Come on, come on, come on, come on. X should be 1 and Y should be 1. Or X should be 1 and Cn should be 1. Or Y should be 1 and Cn should be 1. Please tell me, did you understand this? Are the notations for sum and carry clear? any two of them is 1, you will get a carry. Student says, sir, why aren't you considering the case when all the three are 1? Why do I need to look at it? If two of them are 1, that gives me a carry. The third is not. Okay, if you want to still put that, put it, but it is redundant. Or X and Y and C in. You can put it, but it's redundant, because if any of two of them are 1, you will get a 1, or gate will anyways produce a 1. What's the point of putting another gate over there for no reason? Did you understand this? Draw a series in the circuit, it will become more clear. First, the circuit for sum. What gate is this? AND gate. How many inputs are there in the gate? 3. So 3 input AND gate, 3 input AND gate, 3 input AND gate, 3 input AND gate, and all of them combined using an OR gate. 3 input AND, 3 input AND, 3 input AND, 3 input AND, all of them combined using an OR gate. This is the circuit for sum. Please tell me, are you clear? Now what is happening over here? X, Y, C in. That's your first case. X, Y bar, C in bar. Second case. X bar, Y, C in bar. Third case, last case, X bar, Y bar, C in. Please tell me, did you understand? Either all the three are 1 or any one of them is 1, provided the other two are 0. Are you clear? That produces your sum. And for your carry, 2 input AND gate, 2 input AND gate, 2 input AND gate combined using OR gate. 2 input, 2 input, 2 input AND gates combined using OR gate. Your first gate is X, Y. Both of them are 1, irrespective of C in, you will get a carry. X and C in are 1, irrespective of Y, you will get a carry. Y and C in are 1, irrespective of X, you will get a carry. So now, student says, sir, what about the case when all the three are 1? Put it, this circuit will still give you a 1, you don't need to put any extra gates for it. That case is automatically, this is your C out. That is automatically handled by, if all the three are 1, X and Y will be 1. When X and Y are 1, AND gate will produce a 1. OR gate, the moment any input is 1, answer is 1. You don't even need to look further. X, Y itself will produce it. If Y, you understood my point, right? So, and that will happen wherever you look at it. Even this will produce a 1 because all three are 1. So this will also produce a 1, this will also produce a 1. All three are 1, OR gate will anyways give a 1. So you don't need to put an extra condition for all the three lines to be 1. Please tell me, did you understand? What have you learned? What have you learned from here? What have you learned? How to add two 1-bit numbers. This is the core. All arithmetic in the world finally boils down to a 1-bit addition. This is the sum formula for sum. This is the formula for carry. This is the internal circuit for sum, internal circuit for carry. Please tell me, are you clear? Now, what have we made? A successful 1-bit full adder. Combining many of these, we can produce bigger adders. Now I'm going to move that side of my camera on that side because the rest part is on that side. So first we'll see how to add numbers in a serial form, then in a parallel form. I'll just move the camera. Okay, so we have seen how to add two 1-bit numbers. Now these are your 1-bit full adders. I'm saying full adders because each of them is also taking a carry input. Even the first one is taking a carry input. So they're all full adders. Okay. Now suppose we have two 4-bit numbers, X and Y. The bits are called X0, X1, X2, X3, Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3. Okay. When you add them, you'll again get a 4-bit number, that is Z. That will be, his bits are Z0, Z1, Z2, Z3. To the whole input, there will be a carry called C in. Why? Because this is a 4-bit adder. Now I'm going to combine many of these to make an 8-bit adder, 16-bit adder. So that means these itself should be full adders. So there will be a carry input. Are you clear? Which for the first stage will always be 0. Thereafter it will be whatever is the carry of the previous stage. You get my point, right? So your inputs are all the X's, all the Y's, and your carry input. Your outputs are all the Z's. Okay? Your sum and your final carry output. Did you understand? Now, to take an example, again the same kind of numbers. Let's say the numbers are 3 and 2. So 3 is 0, 0, 1, 1. So this is 0, 0, 1, 1. 2 is 0, 0, 1, 0. Add them with a carry input which initially will be 0. You will get a sum and a carry output. Okay. Now, this is called serial adder, what I've shown you. Also called ripple carry adder. Now why such names? Also called slow adder. That should give you an idea. Suppose I want to add these 4-bit numbers. What do I add first? Z0, Z1, Z2. Which ones do I add first? The bit number 0, bit number 1, bit number 2, bit number 3. Which do I add first? Bit number 3. Why? Because I cannot add X2, Y2 unless I have C3 with me, which can only be produced after adding X3, Y3. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Only when this stage completes its addition, it will produce a carry. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Look here, look here. Suppose my numbers were, as I said, 3 and 2. 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. I want to add them. 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 0, carry 1, this is 1, this is 0. Now I need to first add this so that it produces a carry, using which I will add this, it will produce a carry, using which I will add this, and so on. Which means I will first add this stage, then this stage, then this stage, then this stage. Which means I will be doing this process in 4 steps. That means I will require 4 cycles, 4 clock cycles of the processor. Please tell me, do you understand? How many cycles? 4 cycles. Why? Because we are adding how many bit numbers? 4-bit numbers. If I want to add 8-bit numbers, 8 cycles. 16-bit numbers, 16 cycles. 64-bit numbers, 64 cycles. Like, are you joking? Are you like, how can you take 64 cycles in doing an addition? Please understand, in one multiply, there are lots of additions. In one x raised to y, in your calculator you do x raised to y. In one x raised to y, there are lots of multiplications. In one multiplication, there are lots of additions. In one addition, if there are 64 steps, if addition is so slow, multiplication will be very slow. X raised to y, you write x raised to y on your calculator, press equal to, it's going to take you minutes and minutes to give the answer. But that doesn't happen. It gives the answer like this. That means if I want to add 2 big numbers, I cannot take so many cycles. I want to add them together in one cycle. I need a fast adder. This is a slow adder because the carry gets rippled one after the other. So that's why the name ripple carry, also called serial adder, because you're adding them serially one by one. It's a slow adder. You understand? I need a faster adder over here. Yeah? Are you clear? Now how do I get a fast adder? What's the problem in adding all of them simultaneously? The problem is this chain. We need to break this chain. If this dependency on the previously generated carry, if this dependency is broken, then I can add all the bits simultaneously, correct? What do you mean by that? Are you saying I should not consider the carry input? No, 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 that will be wrong. That will be wrong mathematics if I don't consider the carry input. I need to consider my carry input, but I don't need that dependency. What does that mean? I should be able to add x2 and y2 without having already added x3, y3. I should be able to independently add x1, y1. Now, to add x1, y1, I need x1, y1 and the carry that was produced by adding these two, which to normal logic can only be produced after adding this. But if we can somehow predict, if beforehand we can predict all the carries, are you understanding what I'm saying? Predict, give me another word. Look ahead. Hence the name carry look ahead adder. What we are making now is a parallel adder called carry look ahead adder, which will first predict all the carries, then do the addition. To predict all the carries, it doesn't need to do the addition, which means it can predict all the carries simultaneously, do the addition simultaneously. Please tell me, are you clear? How do you predict the carries? Let's see. Let's see. Look here. What are the carries that we need to predict? The carry that we have is C in, that we don't need to predict, that is input to the circuit. Remember, X, Y and C in are the inputs. So using all the X's, using all the Y's and using C in, I should be able to predict C3, C2, C1 and C0. How do I do that? Let's see. Tell me the formula of carry. C. What was the formula of carry? In a full adder, what was the formula of carry? When you add two 1-bit numbers, what's the formula of carry? You have 3 inputs, X, Y and the input carry. So when will you get a carry? Either X and Y both are 1, or X and C in is 1, or Y and C in is 1. Tell me, do you understand this? So at any stage, or let's say at the last stage, C3 that you want to predict. First of all, the first carry that you want to predict is C3, correct? C3 will be X3 Y3 plus X3 C in plus Y3 C in. Please tell me, this is the formula for C3. Tell me, do you agree? C3 is X3, correct or no? That's your formula for carry. Any two of them should be 1. When will you get a carry over here? When these two are 1, or these two are 1, or these two are 1, correct? So that's your C3. Let's make this formula a little better. C3 is X3 and Y3 plus C in is common, X3 plus Y3. Please tell me, do you understand what? I've just rearranged the terms. I've done nothing extra. This is simple arithmetic. C3 is G3 plus P3 C in. G and P are called generate and propagate. I repeat, generate and propagate. Simply G and T. Come on, look here. What is G and of X3 and Y3? What is P or of X3 and Y3? This circuit, come on. This circuit is an adder circuit. Inside the adder circuit, which we have derived, so we are not talking in thin air, we have actually derived it. In an adder circuit, is there an AND gate? Yes, if you remember the gates inside were ANDs and ORs. So is there an AND gate? Yes. Is there an OR gate? Yes. Do we have X3 and Y3? Yes. That means can it produce X3 and Y3? Yes. Can it produce X3 or Y3? Yes, because it has AND gate, OR gate inside, and X3, Y3 are the inputs. Please tell me, do you understand this? So, C3 is G3 plus P3 C in. What are you understanding? I can produce C3 without producing Z3. Till now what was happening, only after you finish the addition you will get a carry. I have not done the addition. Using X3, Y3 and C in, I have produced C3. Are you so far clear? This will become more clear in the next stage. So that was your formula for C3. Let's call this equation number 1. Now, C2. C2 is the carry that you produce over here. That will be produced using X2, Y2 and the carry input over here, which is basically C3, correct? Correct? So C2 is same thing, G2 plus P2 C3. Do you understand this? Hello, be with me, don't get lost, be with me, it's not difficult. C2 is G2 plus P2 C in. What is C in for this stage? C3. For this stage the carry input was the original carry input. For this stage the carry input is not the original carry input. The carry input is C3. This was the whole problem, right? First you add this, then you will get a carry output that will come to this stage, then you will get the carry output that will come to this stage. So what we are trying to do is predict C3, C2, C1, C0. Now to get C3, to get C2 I need X, Y and C3, correct? X, Y and C3. X, Y means G2 and P2 and C3, correct? So what does this mean? Using this formula I can produce C2, but to produce C2 I need C3, which means C2 can be produced only after getting C3. No, C3 has this formula. Substitute C3's formula over here. C2 will be G2 plus P2 G3 plus P2 P3 C in. Student says, sir, what is going on? What is going on? No, hold on. We have crossed the bridge. It's over. Okay, now just listen and understand what a wonderful thing you've actually learned. Okay? We are now capable of producing C2 without producing C3. What are we using to produce C2? G2, P2, G3, P3, C in. Don't get bogged down. It's very easy. It's very easy. School children will understand this. We are producing C2. We are producing C2 using G's and P's. What are G's? X, Y AND gate. What are P's? X, Y OR gate. All the X's are input, all the Y's are input, AND gate and OR gate are present inside. Which means, without really doing 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1 by 1 addition, just looking at all the X's and Y's and the original value of C in, I can beforehand predict C2. Please tell me, did you understand? This is called carry prediction. C2 is based on, to a person with limited intelligence, though most people are more or less the same, just minor, plus minus, small difference, but still, or probably to a person with a limited will to learn, I just changed my words, to a person with a limited will to learn, C2 can be produced using X2, Y2 and C3, the carry that comes here. Yeah, that is limited will to learn. To a really bright student who wants to learn, C2 is produced using X2, Y2, X3, Y3 and C in, which means C2 doesn't need to wait for C3 to be produced. While this part was producing C3, at the same time this part can produce C2. Please tell me, did you understand this? What will I produce first? C3 or C2? Tell me. That's it. If you're saying C3, my friend, come on, keep looking. If you're saying both together, you understood the point. To produce C2, I don't need C3. To produce C2, I need G's and P's. What are G's and P's? They are derived from X's and Y's. All the X's and all the Y's are inputs in the very first stage. That means using just the input data, I can produce C2 as well as C3 both in the same cycle. Please tell me, did you understand? And if you're smart, you understood. That means we can also do it for C1 and C0. Now it's just going to get bigger and bigger. But the idea is the same. Come on, C1. What is C1? G1 plus P1, come on, G1 plus P1 into what? Carry input. Now what is the carry input to the C1 stage? Carry input to the C1 stage is C2 that comes from here. So G1 plus P1, C2. Now, as I said, limited will to learn, hello. That means to produce C1, I need C2. Intelligent students, hello, C2 is produced like this. Put that formula over here. C1 will be G1 plus P1, G2 plus P1, P2, G3 plus P1, P2, P3, C in. This is formula number 3. So what do you understand? You can produce C1, C2, C3, all of them using what? Only using G's and P's and the original carry input. All G's, P's and original carry input are your inputs. You don't need to produce C2 to produce C1. You can produce C1, C2, C3 together. And the last one, C0. Come on, this I want by yourself. G0 plus P0, C1. What is C1? What is C1? This statement. C0 will be G0 plus P0 G1 plus P0 P1 G2 plus P0 P1 P2 G3 plus P0 P1 P2 P3 C in. This is equation number 4. Yes, it looks very big. Some people think it's boring. Yeah, if you think it's boring, you're not cut for this. This is not boring. This is a marvelous achievement that the people who designed this have come to. You can produce all the 4 carries now without actually doing any of the additions, just from the inputs. All you need is an extra bit of circuitry over here. This is called carry look ahead generator. Okay, people word it wrong. People say this is carry look ahead adder. If this is carry look ahead adder, then what are these? This whole thing is carry look ahead adder. This is just a carry look ahead generator. What will this produce? This will produce your 4 carries. Which are your 4 carries? Tell me. C3, C2, C1 and C0. It will produce the 4 carries. Now what does it need? Come on, we'll do it together. We are doing it together. I could have just drawn the circuit and then taught you. I don't want to do that. I want you to understand this. Your understanding is still pending. To produce C3, come on, look at this formula. To produce C3, what do I need? G3, P3 and C in. Are you with me? What I need is G3, P3 and C in. C in I have, I will give that as an input to the circuit. So C in is already here. It needs now G3 and P3, correct? G3 and P3. Come on, what is G3? What is G3? X3, Y3 with an AND gate. What is P3? X3, Y3 with an OR gate. There is X3, Y3. Inside this, there are AND gates and OR gates. That means this component can produce 2 things and give it to this adder. What are these? To the carry look ahead generator. What are they? G3 and P3. Did you understand this? Using X3 and Y3, it will produce G3 and P3. Using G3, P3 and C in, it will produce C3. Are you so far clear? Are you clear? Are you clear really? Come on, do it again. Tell me. This circuit using X2, Y2 can produce what? Come on, tell me. I want to hear. Can produce what? It can produce G2 and P2. G2 is X2 and Y2, P2 is X2 or Y2. So using X2, Y2, it can produce P2 and G2. Now using P2, G2, P3, G3 and C in. P2, G2, P3, G3 and C in. Using G2, P2, G3, P3 and C in, this circuit can produce C2 without actually producing C3. I can directly produce C2, which means C2 and C3 both will be produced in one cycle. Again, this will produce what? Come on, give me the answer. This will produce what? G1 and P1. Now using G1, P1, G2, P2, G3, P3 and using the original C in. G1, P1, G2, P2, G3, P3 and the original C in, you can produce C1. And similarly, this will give out, yes, Yes, G0 and P0, G0, P0, G1, P1, G2, P2, G3, P3 and C in, this can produce C out, so that is C0. So what do you understand? What, let's not get bogged down, and let's please not think this is funny, because it's not. This is very interesting. What have we achieved? We have achieved a 4-bit adder. To add 4-bit numbers, what do you need? These are your 4 bits. The problem was not in the sum. The problem was in the carries. To add all these bits, we needed the carry of the previous stage at every stage, correct? That's what was causing the slowness, 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. If somehow we can predict all the 4, somehow magically, if somebody just gives us all the 4 carries before doing this addition, we can now add all the bits simultaneously. Please tell me, did you understand? What was stopping these adders to add them simultaneously was the lack of these carries. If someone could predict all of this, was okay, not the picture, it was these basically. So if someone could predict these carries and give us beforehand, we could now add all the bits together. So to add all the bits now, all we need is prediction of the carry. To predict the carries, we need C in, G's and P's. All the 4 carries are predicted using G's, P's and C in. To produce G's and P's, we need AND gate and OR gate, which are already there inside these adders. So what will happen once the inputs come? What are the inputs? X, Y and C in are the inputs. Once the inputs come, first all these 4 adders will produce G's and P's and give it to the carry look ahead adder. This will produce G3, P3. This will produce G2, P2. Now, to produce G3, P3 and G2, P2, they have nothing to do with each other. That means they can be produced simultaneously. That means correct or no? That means in one cycle, all of them will give the G's and P's to the carry look ahead generator. Now the carry look ahead generator has all the G's, all the P's and the C in. In one cycle, it will produce all the 4 carries and give it to the addition stages. In one cycle, not one by one, one cycle. You can produce C3, C2, C1, C0. They are all independent of each other. All they need is the G's, the P's and the original carry input, which we have produced in the first stage. So first cycle you produce G's and P's. Second cycle you produce the carries. Third cycle you do your addition. All the bits can be added simultaneously because now you have your carries with you. So how many cycles you needed to do this? 3 cycles. Student says, sir, are you serious? Before this, when we did serial adder, to add 4-bit numbers we needed 4 cycles. Now you are saying we need 3 cycles. That means we have managed to save 1 cycle. To save 1 cycle we've learned all this. That's what students say. Who says this? Students have this, because I've been teaching for so long, I know this, I kind of have a say about students' behaviors. Some students have a habit of building a wall between them and the subject. Before they start learning the subject, they try to find what is wrong with it, so that they just create a mental block, so that there's some part of their psyche which supports them not to study the subject. Don't create that block. Learn it further. You'll understand it. Everything is very interesting if you put your mind into it. Yes, this took 3 cycles. Agreed. But 3 cycles to add a 4-bit number. If it was an 8-bit number, this will still take only 3 cycles. 1 cycle to produce all the G's and P's, 1 cycle to produce the carries, 3rd cycle to do the addition. But for an 8-bit number, ripple carry adder, that is a slow adder, would have required 8 cycles. For a 64-bit number, that would have required 64 cycles. This will still take only 3 cycles. 1 cycle to produce all the G's, G's and P's, 1 cycle to produce the carries and 1 cycle to do the addition. Do you understand how super fast this is as compared to a slow adder? Tell me, is this clear? Yes, when you think of 4-bit numbers, the comparison is 4 cycles and 3 cycles. But for an 8-bit number, the comparison is 8 cycles and still only 3 cycles. This circuit requires only 3 cycles. 1 cycle to produce the G's and P's looking at X's and Y's. Another cycle to produce all the carries looking at G's, P's and C in. And the 3rd cycle to produce the addition because you have all the carries. Now you can add all the numbers. Please tell me, did you understand this? Yes, is multiple bit addition clear? Where did we start from? Come on, let's take a recap. We started with a half adder with the full circuit of it, okay, proper circuit. Understood a half adder is of no use, we need a carry input. Then we came up with a full adder with its full circuit. Now that was adding to 1-bit numbers. When you want to add large numbers, combine those adders. The problem is each adder depends upon the previous adder's work to get completed so that it can produce a carry. So rippling of the carry was making it slow. We came up with a new circuit that just acts like God. Beforehand, it predicts all the carries and gives you. How does it do it? There is no magic. There is no magic in the world. The way it does it is, at least that's what I believe, the way it does it is, the adders that we had have and OR gates. You have all your X's and Y's. So using X's and Y's, the adders produce G's and P's and give this to this God type of circuit, the carry look ahead generator. Once it has all the G's and P's and the original carry input, using original carry input G's and P's, it produces all the carry outputs at one go, like magic, but not magic. It just suddenly produces all the carries and gives to the adder circuits. Now all the adders can perform the addition in one cycle. So it takes 3 cycles. So with that we have managed to reach multiple bit addition. Now you know how addition takes place, whether it's 4-bit, 8-bit, 16-bit, the concept is the same. Addition chapter is over. Before we wrap up the video, subtraction. What do you think? Are we going to create a subtractor circuit? In life, have you ever heard of half subtractor or full subtractor, carry look ahead subtractor? No. There is no circuit in the world that is created to do subtraction. Subtraction is addition of 2's complement. X minus y is basically x plus 2's complement of y, which means all I need to do is addition. Instead of sending y, send the 2's complement of y. By the way, what is 2's complement? 1's complement plus 1. We of course do it by a shortcut, but on paper 2's complement is 1's complement plus 1. So what I want to do is x plus 1's complement of y plus 1. This will end up doing x minus y, correct? Now look here. This is an adder subtractor, okay, like this, an adder subtractor circuit. It could be a 4-bit adder, 6-bit adder, 8-bit adder. Basically that whole circuit is over here now. Are you clear? You understand that, right? So this is your parallel adder subtractor. These are the two numbers that you want to either add or subtract. One of them is x, the other is y. So either you're doing x plus y or you're doing x minus y, okay. It will produce a sum z and a carry output, and will take a carry input which initially by default is 0. Then in its various stages, the carry input will further propel to produce the internal carries. You know the internal part, right? That whole circuit is now come down over here. So it has a carry input, it has x, y, it will produce a sum and a carry output. Now, till now, we were giving y as it is. Now, we will give y through this arrangement. What gate is this? XOR gate. We will give y through an XOR gate. The other input of the XOR gate is your critical input S. S is a single line, so can be 0 or 1. If S is 0, we'll end up doing addition, so this will work like an adder. If S is 1, we will end up doing subtraction, so this will work as a subtractor. So using this S value, which can be 0 or 1, we can decide whether we want to do addition or subtraction. How does this happen? Look here. This is an XOR gate. This is the truth table of XOR gate. 0, 0 will give you 0. 0, 1 will give you 1. You know that, right? Exclusive OR, so they should be exclusive. 1, 0 will give you 1. 1, 1. Nothing exclusive, so again you get a 0. What do you understand from this? Either 0 or 1, anything when you XOR with 0 remains the same. Can you see that? Anything XORed with 0 remains the same. Anything XORed with 1 gets complemented. 0 is becoming 1, 1 is becoming 0. Which complement? 1's complement. It's getting inverted. So again, anything XORed with 0 remains the same. Anything XORed with 1 gets complemented. See how we're going to use it. Smart people already understood. Good. S can be 0 or 1. Come on. When S is 0, over here you're getting a 0. By default anyways the input is 0. You're getting a 0. Y is getting XORed with 0. Anything XORed with 0 remains the same. So anything XORed with 0 remains the same. So this is still Y, this is X. So you're doing X plus Y plus 0, which means you're doing X plus Y, which means you're working as a pure adder. Please tell me, did you understand this? This is addition. Is that clear? Which was what we've been doing all throughout the video. Suppose you want to do subtraction. As I said, the circuit doesn't change. Circuit is the same. What changes is the S input. Make S1, keep it as a button, 0, 1, 0, 1. You keep it 0, you do addition, keep it 1, you do subtraction. Make S1, what happens? A 1 goes here and here. Anything XORed with 1. Anything XORed with 1. Good, if you're smiling, I'm happy. Happy not only that you understood this, happy that you can maintain concentration for such a long video. I work 15 hours a day with full concentration. I'm a teacher, I have to be full concentration. But if you could maintain concentration for such a long video and got this by now, if you finish understanding this, I'm proud of you. If you're not, no problem, it's okay, I'm still teaching. Anything XORed with 1 gets complemented. 0 becomes 1, 1 becomes 0. Y is getting XORed with 1. That means what you're getting over here is not Y. What you're getting over here is Y bar. 1's complement of Y. Now what are you doing? X plus 1's complement of Y plus 1. X plus, I've written over here, X plus 1's complement of Y plus 1. Now what is 1's complement of Y plus 1? 2's complement. So you're doing X plus 2's complement of Y. X plus 2's complement of Y means you're doing X minus Y. Please tell me, did you understand this? Yes? X minus Y is X plus minus Y. What is minus Y? 2's complement of Y. So X plus 2's complement, that is X plus 1's complement of Y plus 1. Which means by just keeping S as 1, the same circuit will do subtraction. By keeping S as 0, the same circuit will do addition. So the circuit remains the same. The control unit will send a 0 or a 1 as an extra input over here to decide whether this circuit will act as an adder or as a subtractor. Now you may get this as in VIVA if you have VIVA. If you don't have VIVA, no, I don't really see this coming as an exam question unless you're not doing engineering. If you're doing BSc and all, you will get. In engineering, I really doubt this would be an exam question. It's too basic. Then why did I teach you? When we make the circuit for Booth's algorithm, the next video I'm going to make is Booth's algorithm. So when you make the circuit for it, for multiplication, in that also there will be an adder. Multiplication not only involves addition, it also involves subtraction. So you'll have an adder which can add also, you can subtract also. Now how do you recognize that this adder can add also and subtract also? You will notice an XOR gate at the second input. Any time after this in our circuit, in our subject, if you see a big circuit with an adder subtractor with one input coming as it is and the second input coming through an XOR gate, immediately understand this circuit is capable of doing addition as well as subtraction. It's not just an adder, it's an adder slash subtractor. Please tell me, are you clear? Okay, done. So this is adder subtractor, that's carry look ahead adder. Those were basic half adders and full adders. That's your whole addition part. Please tell me, is this clear? Once you've understood this was that effort you had to do. Okay, now the stage is set. You are at the right platform to launch yourself to understand multiplication. Very soon I'll be making a multiplication video, and once you understand that, we'll go to division, etc., and do the higher operations. Okay, your background now is laid, your platform is laid. Watch this video once again, maybe in high speed, but just watch it once again just to make sure, or just try to repeat the concepts in your mind and then start with watching with the multiplication video. Okay, see you.